Alright, folks. Acid Roots here with part 1 of Crash Team Racing. So there's going to be a brief break. I think ultimately I'm going to cut out the Uka Uka, the masked characters' speeches, because they're mostly just hints, but we're going to hear them at least in part 1, so...
Welcome to the Adventure Arena. You can travel around this area and practice your driving skills. The dots and stars on the map represent warp pads, which lead to races. When they flash, it signifies they are open to play. To access a racetrack, drive onto a warp pad that has an active warp vortex, and it will take you to the track start line. Finish a track in first place to win a trophy. As you collect more trophies, other tracks will turn on and open to you. Good luck, and drive fast.
Alright, so basically the first few seconds here I'm just going to get used to the controls, because I haven't played this game in like 20 years. But I'm going to see, what I need to do, how to power slide, how to hop, all that sort of stuff. So R1, it's either L1 or R1 that's hop, I don't remember. X is go, square is brake. I think R1 is hop, and I think circle is to use the item, so you get the idea. But so I'm gonna, there's 2 stages open, but I'm just gonna do the actual first course. I mean, really, there's gonna be 4 races and then the boss, so there's 16. I saw in the instruction booklet, it said that there's 16 races in this game, 3 of which I'm going to beat in the first episode. So this really might not be that long a playthrough. Now, I don't remember, I used to watch like other LPs of this game just to kind of see what it was about, but I haven't really thoroughly watched it for a long time. So I don't remember what happens after you beat the boss. I don't know if you actually have to do the bonus stuff, like get later on you have to collect like the CTR letters and get first, and then you have to get like extra trophies. I don't know. I estimate if it's like, the Diddy Kong game for the Nintendo 64, you might actually have to race the bosses twice. So I'm not sure, but it would seem kind of a scant game just to, do the 4 races and then the boss, and there's only 5 worlds. So that's basically, somehow I think the game is longer than that. So basically what I'm telling you is I don't know everything about this game, and like I said, I haven't played it in 20 years hands-on, so I don't really know as far as like, what to expect. So that's just kind of the main situation. But whole thing about it is I know it's a fun game, and I actually have played quite a bit of it back in the day. I just don't remember like the details. So it's fun. I'm going to be Crash Bandicoot. I'm basically going to be this character the whole way through unless it starts giving me difficulty with later stages. I'm not even sure that you can change characters. I think you're basically stuck with the one you pick. So, but something I didn't do in these races is, of course, get the Wumpa fruit. So you want to get the apples at the top, because if you get 10 of them, your item gets powered up, and it makes for a more potent weapon against the other racers. So, like if you get hit by that Nitro TNT back there, you have to press R1 several times to hop until you get it off of you. But if they have the fruit and it's a green Nitro box, it'll explode on contact and you're just doomed. Like I just got that right there. So yeah. But yeah, I didn't figure this stage would be very tough. I mean, this is very basic, and it's pretty good for the PS1, because I just don't think that the PlayStation had like adventure games like this in a racing setting like Mario Kart 64. That's one area that I think the Nintendo 64 was skilled at, but that was a random belch. So it's leftover McDonald's I had this afternoon, so it's kind of the main thing. This is such a mellow game, and that's the thing about it is, the humor is there, but then you just have to kind of wonder. I mean, it basically is just like typical Crash Bandicoot, just in a racing setting. So I do like that, but I do actually own Crash Bandicoot Warped. I never really got past like the 2nd or 3rd world. I remember fighting the giant tiger, who's actually in this game tiny, and then there's like some other one. I think Dingo Dial was actually like the 2nd boss, but I don't remember. That is just the thing. I mean, the Crash games been since 2001, 2002 since I've played them, so it's been a long time. But I just said, hey, you know, I need more PlayStation 1 games that I can actually mess with. So I said, fuck it, let's get this game, dig this out of the vault, see if I can still beat it. You know, because I'm obviously interested. And I think I talked throughout that. I mean, honestly, I don't know how, like, severe you need to hear these hints. I mean, obviously, I think you could just rewind it back, but we'll see what happens, you know. I'll try to remember, I mean, at least for this first episode, not to talk during those, but I don't know. It kind of depends. I might have to redo this commentary if it messes with the commentary that I've talked through. But this is the race, not to spoil anything, but this is the course that you'll race the boss on. So basically, like with each boss, it's good to know one of the courses because you're going to have to race him on one of the actual stages. So, yeah, so that's kind of the situation. It kind of makes me wish that Mario Kart 64 had an adventure mode. I mean, that's a fun game in its own right, but I do feel like Crash Team Racing is probably better just because of the more effort that went into it. Definitely good. I mean, this is one of the best games with PS1. I mean, there's no reason you shouldn't own this game if you're still playing the PS1. I mean, you gotta understand they're on the PS5 now, so this is kind of the thing, but I still mess with the PlayStation 1 quite a bit. So, yeah, I guess I could talk about some of these other racers. I'm trying to catch up with Dingo Dial, and then Crash Bandicoot's sister is actually, well, I got, yeah, you know, she's second place, so kind of interesting just because Crash Bandicoot doesn't really talk. That's the strange thing about this series. I don't know overly about it, but I do notice that he's basically a mute character and just doesn't really, I mean, most of his reactions are just like grunts and sound gestures and that sort of stuff, so it's kind of difficult to kind of make him funny just because to me it seems like most of the time he doesn't even know what's going on. I mean, I can tell Crash likes to sleep and probably likes to eat, but I don't know about like his other like desires or wants or something like that. I mean, really in the first Crash Bandicoot, I know he had a girlfriend, but she's not in this game and really hasn't been mentioned since. So, yeah, I mean, Crash is just kind of, you know, he's just lackadaisical. That's the main thing to know about him if you're completely new to the concept of Crash Bandicoot, so, but it's really his sister that does most of the talking. But yeah, we've got another hint from the mask character, and then we'll be on our way. Well, I guess not quite yet, but so he does do a little dance. It's kind of funny. Kind of like what football players do is what it reminds me of.
You win a trophy. When you get a TNT crate on your head, start hopping immediately. If you react fast and hop enough times, the TNT crate will fall off your head before it explodes.
So yeah, we're already almost done with this world, and that's something. This is only episode 1. I mean, 10 minutes ago you weren't even watching this video, so this kind of happens to be a thing. We're speeding through it. I probably would have to say the boss is going to be like in the next episode. So, but I'm really not going to try to burn through this game. I'm not going to try to get first every single time just to beat this like in an hour and a half. I mean, I recognize for fans of this game that they want to indulge in it. It'll probably be about as long as like the Donkey Kong Country LP that I've just recently wrapped up and such, or am wrapping up. Kind of the situation there. I mean, it's about the same length, just, you know, probably going to be like 16, 18, 22 parts, something like that. But I actually almost lose in this race. I would have had to do it again, but mainly because I'm not getting the fruit. And they kind of put those boxes that have the fruit in it, you know, in places where I have to lose first place to get them. So it's kind of like a gamble whether or not you want to deal with that. I think this adventure mode actually is 2-player. I want to say that there's like a cheat code that you can use to have a friend come along with you if you really can't beat this game on your own, which is good because I remember doing that. I don't know if it was like, I'm fairly certain I played adventure mode 2-player, but I don't know offhand. I'm not going to have Cobalt with me if you're thinking that I'm alluding to that. He's moved out and situated, so I will basically mess around and beat this game. Supposing they don't play any dirty tricks, I would like to suppose I could get this under wraps and have a PS1 game just for your viewing pleasure. We'll see.
Too bad.
So yeah, there's basically another thing about these racers is there's 4 good guys, 4 bad guys, but the whole answer is, like, Cortex, the main Crash villain, he's actually on your side. It's kind of one of those situations where the villain and the hero have to work together for like a common cause. That's what happens. So even though he actually is evil, he's not technically evil. So it's interesting. But yeah, there's 4 villain characters, and I kind of like how they did that because, you know, like in other games, it's not always like that. Well,
Too bad.
yeah. So just good. I mean, that's the thing. I'm glad that this game, you know, has the stellarness that it does. It's fun. So, and there is a battle mode. I think you can actually play with 4 players. You need a multi-tap to do it, but yeah. This is strange because this feels like a Nintendo 64 game. For some reason, it just doesn't feel like this came out on the PlayStation. This has all the mechanics of like a Nintendo 64 game. I keep getting hit by those fucking fireballs. Almost got hit a 3rd time. So, my item crate got stolen. But, yeah, there's something I was trying to say here. Forgot what. Barely, I got by on the skin of my teeth. You would have been seeing that. If I do lose, I mean, until I start losing like 3 or 4 times in a row, you're gonna see the course I lose in a 2nd or 3rd time. Is this so like this game is not beaten like in 8 parts? I feel like that's just too short and sweet, too short-lived. Don't really like the concept behind it. But so yeah, we're already almost done with this episode. I blame the mask as the reason why this commentary is so brief, but I'm not going to do this every time. I'm just going to skip these just because, you know.
You can get a hang time turbo from jumping. The longer you're in the air, the bigger the turbo you'll get when you land. For big turbos, try to get extra air time by hopping off jumps using the R1 button.
I might actually keep these just because they're telling me things that I don't actually know. That's like the whole thing. They do this after every race, so maybe I'll just do it for World 1. I'm not sure. But alright, we're about done here, so I'm going to find a save point, and that's the next race, Sewer Speedway. So maybe that's the course we race the boss in, but...
This is the load save screen. There are 5 of these screens, 1 in each world section. When you want to load or save a game, go to one of these screens. To access it, drive up to the screen and stop. Then, follow the directions.
Alright, so that's basically the day. So you got part 0 and part 1. I'll see you eventually in part 2. Subscribe for more fun. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful night. Get ready.